Welcome to the Sports Hangover. I'm Michael Benatar, joined alongside J Dawg.
Mike, it's good to see you. It's Christmas morning. It's our favorite show of the year. It's football season, and for the next 6 months, we have a lot to talk about.
We finally have a lot to talk about. It's been a slow summer. We had some stuff go on, but I think now I'm ready for football. It's always like every year when I get back into it, I'm always like, oh yeah, like I forgot about all this. You really have to almost like relearn it all, I guess. It's like going back to school a little bit. Like you gotta get a refresher course in.
That's true. You relearned rosters on a recent episode of the Sports Hangover. You did learn about those. We were quizzing you. You may have quizzed me a little bit. We didn't know some players in our fantasy drafts and on some rosters. But I'm so excited to spend Sundays with Scott, my favorite person, Scott Hansen. I'm coming over to your house this weekend. I'm going to come over a day early on Saturday and just extend it right into Sunday
just
morning.
Just a little sleepover.
We're so pumped for 10 a.m. Sunday. The Octo Box, Scott's energy, the bacon will be sizzling. The kickoffs will be different. The fantasy points will be happening. The parlays will be screwed from the early first quarter action. It's like it's all happening this week.
We never talked about the kickoff thing. Do you think that's going to affect the game at all, or is it just kind of like silly? Do you think it's going to do anything? Do you think people are going to return more, or is it just going to be same thing? Like,
well, kickoffs have been boring, right? And now they're still boring. And so, like, what's really changed? I don't understand. I know that there's less like running and colliding. I don't know if it's any different or better.
I don't know. It seems like maybe you could return a kick easier because everybody's kind of starting together. So you can kind of like hold people a little better and get a little further. I have no idea.
Wow.
We'll see.
We'll see about that. I don't think kickoffs will be the main subject on Monday morning. I want to ask you, if you had to guess of all the storylines, of all the people involved in NFL Sunday, Mike, who is the biggest story on Monday morning across the socials? Who's it going to be?
Listen, it's got to be a team that everybody thinks is going to be a loser. I think if the Carolina Panthers win and ruin my survivor pick, I think that would be a story. And I think a
story in your household, that's for sure.
It'll definitely be a story in my house. And also, I guess if Caleb Williams, if he can get his first win at home, which I doubt and I bet against, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
So you made those both about like personal fades for you.
Yes,
one of those will be a huge story if they happen. So hopefully they don't in your case. My thought on that, Mike, is it's not an active player or an active team. I think on Monday, everyone's going to be talking about Tom Brady's debut with Fox. He's doing the Cowboys-Browns game. It's the Cowboys, so people will watch. I'm not excited to watch Deshaun Watson sling it for the Browns.
Afternoon game or morning game?
Yeah, it's a 125. If you want me to stay for that, I definitely can.
Listen, it is going to be a chaotic morning. It's kids and families coming over, so it's going to be a lot. You're going to have to find a TV hidden somewhere.
We learned from the Super Bowl. You can't watch ball and have kids around.
Now that I have a kid, it's like I can't say don't bring your kid. It's like, well, there's already a kid there, so yeah.
That's true. Well, your kid won't watch on Sunday. He'll watch in a few years.
No, he'll be
the Brady thing, I'm just curious. Obviously, we all want to know how he's going to do. Will he criticize? Will he be great? Will he be rigid? Will he be terrible? Can we actually say like he's not good at something? Might be the first time we've ever said that about Tom.
You know, the thing is, it's like the last big guy that took over like the booth was Tony Romo. And Tony Romo was like different because he was a former player. He just got out, so he knew what people were going to call. I think Tom Brady can be similar, but I just don't know what style he wants to go for. I don't know when you get in the booth, are you like, do I have to find my style? Do I take a little bit from here, take a little bit from there? I imagine a lot of fake energy, a lot of too much excitement, which might be a little, you know, when you get in, it's the first time, you're really excited. I don't want
But he
fake
is very
energy.
fired up and excited in the huddle. Like, that's real excitement. Can he not bring real excitement to the booth? Or you feel like he won't be as fired up as he was as the Patriots quarterback?
Jeremy, I'm sure you're a different man when you were, QBing a flag football team than you are in the booth right here talking to me.
So more reserved. You're right.
I don't think Tom Brady has to appeal to everybody, so he can't come out too hot. Listen, Jason Witten, he couldn't even talk, so we knew immediately it's a no for us.
Yeah,
Jason Witten
that was an early read. And Romo did, to your point, he made waves right away because he was predicting all the plays. No one had ever seen that before. It's like we had Sports Adamus in the booth with Jim Nantz just calling stuff out, which was really cool. So he was a big story when it happened. I love the comparison of me and my flag quarterback days to Tom Brady and 6 Super Bowls. Thank you for mentioning that. Of course, there's something very concerning about Brady as an announcer I want to bring up. And so he's also becoming the owner or part owner of the Raiders, which on the surface is like, okay, he'll probably never have a Raiders game. They have Gardner Minshew at quarterback. That's okay. He's not allowed to do a lot of things, Mike. Tom Brady is not permitted to attend broadcast production meetings in person or virtually. He may not have access to team facilities or players or coaching personnel. Fox staff, meanwhile, is not subject to those limitations. He may broadcast Raider games, but he must abide by the league constitution and bylaws that prohibit public criticism of officials and non-Raiders clubs.
So is this only when he calls a Raiders game, not any other
No,
game?
it's all the time. He apparently, by the NFL bylaws, he cannot criticize officials, which, like, how can you be a top analyst in the NFL and not criticize these terrible referees?
Well, yeah, and it is always like those afternoon games, like the evening game or something. There's like 2 games on, and the reffing's bad. There's a lot of penalties, and what are you going to do? You're not going to complain about it, and it's like a rain delay. You're just going to sit there and just like not complain about what the refs are doing.
I know.
I don't like that. I didn't know that. So that's because he's part owner.
Because he's becoming part owner. It's not even final yet, but because he's in this like transition period before he becomes the owner, he has to start following all those rules right now. Like, Romo can go meet with the quarterback of the game he's doing. Say he's doing the Jags and the Dolphins. Actually, this week he's doing Broncos, Chargers, or Raiders, Chargers rather. Raiders, Chargers. It's Romo can go meet with the quarterbacks, Herbert and Minshew, and like get intel, and that's kind of how he was predicting plays. Meanwhile, Brady can't sit down with Dak Prescott and learn about the Cowboys offense ahead of the game. So it seems weird. I don't know why he's forcing it. Why does he have to be a part owner of the Raiders? Like, who cares? If you're going to make all this money from Fox and do this new thing, why are you trying to do both? Unless, Mike, the conspiracy theory comes out that he might want a door out of this broadcasting thing. What if he's not very good? What if he doesn't like it? Maybe he always has this open door to head to the Raiders and say, hey, I can't be a proper analyst anyway. I'm going to step away after 3 weeks and go own the Raiders.
And this is my other thought. What's his name? Isn't he going to die soon, or did he already die, the owners of the Raiders?
The original owner, Al Davis, died. Mark Davis didn't die yet. Does he also die?
Mark, do they look the same, or am I crazy?
Well, one was an old man. Mark Davis they do look the same. They look very much the same, but one is like 30 years younger than the other.
All right, I was like, oh, well, maybe that's why he's trying to get in now, and then maybe if the owner dies, they'll sell some more shares and jump back in and try to get a little more equity in it. But honestly, I don't understand like the true nature of owning like a very small piece of the team. Is it just like for fun? Like I own a little bit of it because it's a multi-billion-dollar team, and the whole league is billions and billions of dollars. Do you get something on the back end? Like, I've never looked any of this up, but I imagine it's just for, hey, I own a piece of the Raiders. I think that's literally it.
Yeah,
right?
Maybe it's a good investment for people. Like Serena Williams is a partial owner of the Dolphins, but like, what does that mean? What does she get? Tom's not going to Raiders games because he'd be broadcasting other games. So
I don't know.
I don't know, but I don't like it. So I'm a little skeptical of Brady going in, but I'm willing to be proven wrong, and we can recap his performance next week. Yeah,
well, that's hopefully when the house is nice and quiet and I can actually watch the games, because it's going to be tough watching the game. So I'm going to have to hide.
What are you doing to me?
I know. All right. What do you want to do? Do you want to talk? Listen, this year I'm in a Survivor pool in Vegas. I joined the Circuit Survivor. $1,000 on the line, but ultimately $10 million on the line, because I think I can win it. And I'm very excited about it. I've joined multiple other Survivor pools just to hedge myself, just in case.
So you're very confident in the one, except you joining others to hedge. Okay.
You got to have the hedge out there. So we can talk Survivor. Can I give you my most confident to least confident? I have three teams I like. Sure. And just tell me where your thoughts are, okay?
Sure.
Now, my most confident, which I see a ton of people on the boards and online, everybody is picking this team. They're going Cincinnati. They're at home playing New England. This makes sense. Not rookie QB. Jacoby Brissett is the starting QB, so I don't know how that's going to go. I know they have some injured players. I think the center just got injured in New England, and it's a new coach. So all these things are pointing to Cincinnati should win this game. New England most likely will be the worst team in the league, but my other fear is that Chase is not going to sign a contract before Sunday. And I honestly think he might hold out. This man might not play for 5 games. So
Mike, our rich friend who might be listening right now, he drafted Jamar Chase over some great receivers, over A.J. Brown, over Justin Jefferson in our fantasy draft this weekend. So he's not afraid of Chase. But you're right, he hasn't signed the deal yet. He might be practicing today. Today's Wednesday before the game. It doesn't mean he's going to play for sure.
There's a report he walked out of practice.
Oh, he walked out?
He walked out, yeah.
He made a big sign to like come in and go to practice, and then he walked out, I guess.
He walked out, yeah.
I guess for that. What all these people don't know that are so confident in the Bengals is what I've told you before. Joe Burrow says he doesn't read the field till October, Mike, and people are not factoring that in. I would be scared to take the Bengals. I know the manifesto says attack first game head coaches, new head coaches. I know the Patriots have no weapons on offense. I know it's likely the Bengals win the game. It might be a one-possession game late because Joe Burrow might make a few mistakes. The Patriots defense is the one thing they do have intact, and they might be healthy enough to come after Burrow.
All right. Well, my next one. This is I'm pretty confident in this one. Obviously, these are my two most confident, but a lot of issues with all these teams. It's not like if it was that easy to pick winners in the NFL, we would be multimillionaires, and that's the problem with the Survivor. I'm taking Tampa Bay at home, playing Washington. We got all the great things from the manifesto.
This is what you're taking, or this is one of your options?
This is one of my options.
Okay.
Listen.
Okay.
So the one in Survivor right now, I haven't gotten to that pick, but right now we have everything that hits the manifesto correctly. We have rookie QB. We have new head coach. We have first game on the road in Tampa. It's going to be hot. It might be raining. Rookie QB in the rain. Listen, I love Jaden Daniels.
Manifesto bingo is hitting on this one.
It hit on this one. Do you think Tampa can win this game against Washington at home?
The manifesto matches up. I get it. You're checking a lot of boxes, Mike. If I ask you after the season who has a better record, I don't know the answer, Tampa or Washington. I think they're actually similar teams. Tampa takes a step back this year with Baker Mayfield under contract. He was playing for a contract. Jesus. He was poor last year. He was like J Dawg in LA, just trying to survive. And now Baker got paid. You think I'm going to work hard after I get paid? No, I'm going to chill for a while. That's what Baker is going to do this season for the Bucs. Meanwhile, Washington, they have a new ownership. They have a new quarterback. They have a new head coach. Momentum, energy, optimism is in Washington. And they're going down to Tampa as an opportunity to go 1-0. I don't like the idea of taking Tampa here.
All right. Well, for manifesto bingo,
Mike is visibly spooked right now.
Yeah, I don't like that at all. Okay, I see it, but Tampa on paper should be a better team. They should win the game. All right.
Okay.
I'm going to my next one. This is a bonus one. This is like an interchangeable. Could be Tampa. Could be this team. I'm wearing it right here. My Seattle Seahawks. This is another option. So there are 4 options. Seattle Seahawks at home against Denver. This is, I think, the perfect scenario again. Not a rookie. We don't have a new head coach, second-year head coach.
No, Seattle has a new head coach.
No, Seattle does, yes. So that's the negative against Seattle. Seattle has a new head coach.
Yes.
But there is a rookie QB coming in to the stadium that might be the only stadium in the NFL that actually gives you a home field advantage. My boy Geno Smith on his wheelchair rolling out, going to go play against Denver.
I don't think Sam Howell. He didn't win that job?
He didn't win that job. Seattle against Denver at home, this sounds like an easy win. They beat them last year when Russell was there. It's weird. It's like the same schedule. Denver, I think they played each other the first game of the season as well last year.
Yeah.
I'm going Seattle here. I like it. These are options. Now, I do have like 15 Survivor picks, but there's only one pick that actually counts, and it is the $10 million one.
And so you might be changing that from Tampa. So let's talk about this game instead. Listen, you like the Broncos this year. You like what's going on with Sean Payton and Bo Nix. Did you know Bo Nix was a starter in college for 5 seasons? He played over 100 college football games.
How old is he?
He's like 26. He's almost our age.
Is he really?
He's not quite that old, but he's old because he's been around a long time. He was at Auburn and now at Oregon the last more recently. By the way, Mike, he was in Oregon up in the Pacific Northwest. He knows the climate. He knows the area. He's going to have a lot of fans, friends, and family from college in the area too. I actually like this one the best of everything you pitched so far because I think the Broncos and Sean Payton, the cupboard is very bare. They don't have much on defense. They don't have much on offense, and it's a rookie quarterback. The roster looks a little bit like the Patriots, which is really bad, and I expect the Seahawks to be good. I expect the Seahawks with the new coaching staff to come out and play well right away. So I like this one the best of what you've said so far, but isn't there one more that you want to share too?
Yes, Jeremy, there is one more. This is should be my least confident, but technically in my heart, this is my most confident.
Yeah.
When me and mutual friend were driving out, we said, pull up the schedule. Let's start talking, dissecting the games. Let's pick our most favorite game to win week 1. And this is the team that came up. We said Saints over the Panthers. Saints are in Carolina playing. They're out of a dome. I don't know if it matters for Carr. I don't even know if Carr is good anymore. But in my mind, there is no way that the Panthers can come out and beat this team. I just don't see it. This should be the worst team. I'm going. The Saints right now are like in the selection of like we are going with them this week.
Okay, good.
How do you feel? How do you feel about the Saints?
I don't think you feel very good about any of this. The way the conversation's going. I like the pick because Bryce Young is that bad, and the Panthers are that bad. But what I'm afraid of, Mike, is the unknown. I'm afraid of the Dave Canales factor. I don't necessarily believe in Dave Canales and the Panthers, but it's new mojo. What if Frank Reich was just terrible in Carolina, bringing everyone down? What if this new guy brings everyone up? Yeah, he's he's somewhat inexperienced. I don't think the Panthers will win many games this year, but putting my faith in Derek Carr, did you say on the road? This is in Carolina?
That's what I think. I got to double check that.
On the road, Derek Carr. Maybe he was good at the end of last season. He hasn't been good throughout his career.
No. Derek Carr's at home. It's at home. Okay. That's my bad.
That makes me feel better. They are better in the dome. I think it's between Seahawks and Saints, and I think I lean Saints with you.
Wow, okay.
I'm not afraid to take Seahawks. I'm afraid to take the Bengals, and I'm afraid to take the other one you mentioned.
So right now in the pool, I've seen the stats. You can kind of start seeing like who's selecting what in certain like forms and everything. I would say a majority of people right now in Cincinnati. It's like the clear number one. I'm taking this. One of the guys I listen to that wins millions of dollars in Vegas, taking Cincinnati. So maybe we're not seeing something, but I feel like I want to zig a little bit. But is it too much to zig the first game and lose the first game? Because you gotta get to the second week because we mapped it out. So I have it all mapped out where you
might not need all that.
No, we have it all the way mapped out to week 4 if Saints can win the game.
Okay, and you want to save the Bengals for a different game.
The Bengals would be for week 3. And I think they're playing either Carolina or so. I don't know the schedule. I can pull it up, but
Mike, there's so many reasons to not take the Bengals this week. You went through them all, plus the idea that the whole pool is on them. I love the idea of you zigging when everyone else is zagging and saving the Bengals for when Burrow is peaking later in the year, when Chase is signed and has been practicing. Even if he plays at this point, he hasn't practiced in weeks. Does he know the 3rd down and 5 plays properly? I don't take the Bengals, whatever you do.
I hope he does.
And stick to Seahawks or Saints. I like that idea.
It's going to be a really stressful weekend because I've never been in something
where... Because of the kids you're inviting over to this house.
Yes. I've never been in something where it's like, if you just lose this week, you're out. There's no buying back in. There's no getting back in. You're done. It's scary. We're also running the Sports Hangover. We're doing our pick 'em pool.
We are.
Pick 5 teams against
I got
the
in
spread.
there. I made some picks already. Did you start making your picks for this week?
I have like tentative picks, but I'd like to. Do you want to throw out like some of your picks before I go over what I'm thinking this week?
I don't know. Do I? Let's start. Let me ask you this: are you picking any of the Thursday, Friday games? Because I have one of them. I am
absolutely
picking.
Not. That is a no-go. Manifesto says you do not bet Thursday, Friday games unless it's Christmas or Thanksgiving.
The Chiefs have been struggling for these season opening games. They haven't covered in a while. They're like I think Super Bowl winners are 1-5 covering in their last 6. Don't quote me on that, but it's something like that.
Yeah, you bet you fade Super Bowl teams. That is correct.
And so I want to take the Ravens, but not enough to like root for Lamar in Kansas City. Yeah. So I'm not on that one. I am going to take the Friday game. I feel very strongly about the Friday game. Now Brazil presents some issues. We don't know exactly how was the flight down there. How's
issues.
The hotel. Everything's fine with the safety. I know there's wildfires. The environment's doing great. Well, all systems go. Don't worry.
They can't wear green because of gang affiliation.
That's like an internet rumor. I don't think that's been confirmed by anyone. But also, like, if 49ers receivers being shot in San Francisco, I don't think the Packers and Eagles are walking around Brazil just chilling, by the way.
I know.
So I think
no
it's
one
going
wants
to
to
be
be
okay.
there. Yes.
No one wants to be in San Francisco?
No one wants to be in Brazil for the first game.
No one said that either. Mike, I am taking the Packers in this game. I feel strongly about Jordan Love and the Packers. I don't know why they're getting 2.5 as underdogs here. The Eagles, to me, are going to regress this year. I do think the Eagles and the Jets are the 2 teams that just do not live up to expectations. And so why not get that started with a week 1 fade against the Eagles?
Interesting. So you're going a team on a neutral field playing in Brazil. First game of the season on a random Friday. They've never played a season opener on a Friday because of some like weird rules. I think they figured out how to get around by doing it on international ground.
True.
You're taking the underdog on the road on a neutral field. I don't know if I love it. It scares me. These are the first 2 games. And you don't want to start off the season bad. I'd rather just have a miserable Sunday instead of a Thursday, Friday, then a Saturday where I sit around and be like, shit, do I have to change all my picks now? Like,
well, if I go 0-1, it's not going to be a miserable weekend because I'll be okay. I don't tie my record to my life quite that much, Mike.
Not yet.
But what I would say also is I wrote down my Super Bowl projection for the season for this episode too. Might as well get it out there.
Yeah.
And I have the Packers winning the Super Bowl. So why not start on September 6th by just, if they're an underdog, if my Super Bowl team is an underdog, that's in my manifesto, Mike. That's in my own personal manifesto. If my team that I picked to win is a dog in week 1, they're all going on the board and my +2.5 Packers in the Friday night game.
Okay, well, all right. I don't love it, but we'll see what happens. I want to bet the game, but I just don't want to actually put it in one of the contests.
Well, you'll be at Korean barbecue. You won't be watching anyway.
Well, that might not even happen now because everybody's bailing. So, all right. Well, let's start with one of the teams we already talked about. I talked about Tampa. Tampa's at home playing Washington. I like them. Tampa -3.5 at home. I just think Tampa's a better team. It scares me when you're like, well, you don't know what could happen, blah, blah, blah. It could be raining. I just think Tampa's a better team. And I'm betting against rookie QB. You just bet against rookie QB. I have another, what was my stat? It was like rookie QBs like are 0-6 or something on the, hold on, I'm going to look it up. You keep going.
Well, I'm just thinking back to a rookie quarterback who was taken 2nd overall, not last year, but 2 years ago. The Texans and C.J. Stroud. What if you faded Stroud all last year as a rookie, Mike?
Well, you don't fade him all the year. You fade him in the first game of the season. And then I can't even find our stats.
Last season, the Texans lost by 2 touchdowns in week 1, even though C.J. Stroud was amazing. So maybe to your point, that's a reason to fade Daniels early, even if he plays better late.
All right, here's the stat. Rookies are 0-9 against the spread through week 3, and that was in 2021. That was a stat we wrote down, so I don't know if that continues on, but I'm still, God, I swear we had a stat somewhere, whatever it is. I just know we bet against rookies here.
Okay.
God.
I tried to tell you not to do that bet earlier in the show.
I know. It's still there.
Still there.
Listen, this week...
They're not on my board. I'm not picking that game. I'll be honest.
This week was really hard. These lines have been here for a while. Lines moved, so I'm like, oh, I should jump on this line because it moved so much. It's been there all summer long, and all of a sudden it's moving.
Yeah.
I'm going with the Las Vegas Raiders, Tom Brady's partial ownership, here in LA against the Chargers. They're getting 3.5 points. Technically, I would say this is a home game for the Raiders. Chargers have no home field advantage.
Good point.
There'll be more Raiders fans in there. This is great. New head coach for the Chargers and divisional road dog. So divisional road dog, technically home dog, whatever you want to call it here. But I'm going with the stats. I'm just following the trends. We follow the trends. We stick to the manifesto and we win money, Jeremy. That's what we do this week.
That's
Vegas
what we
Raiders.
try to do. Week 1's a hard one to do it, Mike, but I like the Raiders. That might be in my 5 selections. I'm just going to tell you, I'm not stealing it because it might already be there. Because Harbaugh and the Chargers, that's another roster that it's not good. When I looked at that depth chart and Josh Palmer's the #1 receiver for Herbert this year, J.K. Dobbins is the #1 running back, we are struggling. That used to be the Eckler, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams boys, and it has fallen off a lot. And Harbaugh, I told you this a few weeks ago, he took a while to start winning at Michigan. I think fading the Chargers early is probably good. Herbert's hurt again like he always is. The Raiders are a great bet. And Antonio Pierce is not a brand new head coach. He was there on an interim level, so he bucks the manifesto on that too.
I don't know how good of a coach he's going to be, but yeah, he's not a new coach, so the manifesto doesn't say no to that one.
I like
All
that
right,
game.
real quick, what's the next one? All right, I have the Rams at the Lions. I know this is a big game. This is like the Stafford, Jared Goff Bowl.
Yeah.
A lot of stats contradict each other, but I'm just going with the Sean McVay 6-0 week 1. It happened in 2022, 2021. It happened for the last few years. I'm going with them. They're getting 3.5 points on the road in Detroit. I like it. I think the team is just as competitive. I think they're good. Stafford's back. He's no longer injured. Everybody's back this year. I don't know how good the defense is going to be for the Rams, but
everybody on offense is back.
Everybody
Aaron Donald
on offense
is not
back.
walking through that door, and that seems like a problem for the Rams. I'm not sure. Puka with the banged up Bursa sack knee. Cooper Kupp at 31
I don't even know what that is.
old.
What's a Bursa sack?
What's a Bursa sack? I don't know. Hopefully he's okay. He's on my fantasy team. Hopefully he's okay. Cooper Kupp is 31. I know you're bullish on Cooper in fantasy and other places this year. You're scaring me with the McVay stat, but right now on my 5, I actually have the Lions, just to be honest. I would be going against you, which you're okay with that. You're okay with going against me.
Totally okay.
Anytime. I think the Lions are going to have a huge season. They could be in the Super Bowl. They play much better at home. Jared Goff is averaging like 23 fantasy points at home per game and like 16 on the road. It's like a touchdown difference. I think he plays well. I think they're fired up fans. They beat him in the playoffs last year. They'll beat him again. Will they beat him by 4? The line is 3.5. I can't say for sure. I like the Lions' chances on Sunday night. A stat about the Lions, by the way, if you haven't done your fantasy draft for some reason yet, they only play one game outside of a dome until week 16. The offense should be great all season.
Yeah. And there's also like 2 teams that play more home games, and they're in the NFC somewhere. I don't know which 2, but two teams play more home games than away games this year. All right, my next game, I have the Pittsburgh Steelers against Atlanta Falcons. I feel like everybody and their mother, everybody and their mother loves the Falcons. They love Kirk Cousins. They love what's going on down there. It is a new coach, and it is a new QB, not a rookie QB, but there is a new QB there. I'm fading out. I know there's new QBs in Pittsburgh as well, but I just think this is fading the public. I'm getting 2.5 points on the road in Atlanta. I like Pittsburgh. I don't know if I love Russ, but I love Pittsburgh.
Clearly, you've been taking calls from the Mauser family this week. Big Lou has been in your ear. Mutual friend has been in your ear. Definitely infiltrating your thoughts on this.
Yeah.
Raheem Morris is a new head coach for the Falcons. He's been around the block. He knows what he's doing. Kirk Cousins, new quarterback for the Falcons. He sure knows what he's doing. So the idea of those guys being inexperienced, like I'm not buying that quite so much. I think there might be some weirdness in Atlanta this year. Why'd they take Michael Penix if we're going to pay Kirk Cousins? Kirk Cousins hasn't played a preseason game. No game action since the Achilles, so maybe that's a reason to trust out there. Pittsburgh. Yeah, even Russ did. But I don't know. Russell Wilson wasn't good last time we saw him, and now he's on the Steelers. That's not good either.
I just think Tomlin is a good coach. He's always a 500 team. I think this is kind of they don't have to win the game. Listen, 2.5 points could be a 1 point game.
I wish it was 3.5, don't you?
3 would be great. Yeah. But I think a lot of the newness in Atlanta, I think it's a lot for all the players there, the team, the coach. I know Raheem has been around a while, but where's he been the most successful? Was it like the offensive coordinator in Tampa, or was he with when he was with McVay? He was with
McVay. They went to the Super Bowl, right? They won the Super Bowl. He was the D coordinator, so that was something. And head coach in Tampa, I mean, he was really young. He was like our age right now, 36 or 37 when he was head coach. That seems hard to do.
It does. But he's probably really good at Madden.
We would try it.
I would definitely try.
He knew his clock management. Mike, we got to get out of here, but a few things. I have the Packers over the Bengals in the Super Bowl. Are you willing to give a Super Bowl pick on the show?
I'll give a Super Bowl pick on Monday when I just got to look at it.
After week 1.
I can't right now. This is what I got. I got MVP. I put money down on Josh Allen to be MVP. I don't know if they're going to go to the Super Bowl, but I do like that. I do have money also on the Jacksonville Jaguars to win the Super Bowl. Don't know if that's going to happen. Don't know if that's my most confident bet.
They might go 0-1. The Dolphins are putting them in the sun on Sunday. You know, the whole thing with the stadium for the Dolphins, and the Dolphins will have shade, and the Jags will be out in the sun if you like that line.
Can I just say my last pick real quick? I have Indy at home plus 2.5 against the Houston Texans, which also everybody loves. Here are the stats. Divisional dogs. This is Division Dog. 17-4-1 against the spread. 56% since 2000. Only problem is the worst stat in the league is against the Colts. Week 1, 8 straight losing first games of the season for the Colts. Contradict each other. I don't know where they go with the manifesto. But Indy plus 2.
2 stats. You're taking Indy, and I have a stat for you. This has become a stat off, Mike. Anthony Richardson has 17 starts at quarterback since he was in high school. That is not many at all. 17 starts since high school. So inexperienced. If you're trusting him in your betting, if you're trusting him in fantasy, you're in for a bad season.
Great. Okay, cool. Well, check out thesportshangover.com. Follow us on YouTube. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Tell a friend. We'll be keeping track of all our bets, hopefully winning some money. And I'll see you on Saturday because we're going to have a slumber party NFL Madden night. That's what we're doing all night. Yeah.
7 hours of uninterrupted football starts now.
See ya.